All right, so hopefully the technical problems have been fixed. If everybody can hear me, we should be good to go. So I'm going to try to play another game. So this first one, I got flagged. This guy Iron Maiden, he played a good game. I missed a maiden one, so it is my fault. I would berate him for flagging me, but with the queen down. But because I missed maiden one, I will accept it. But given that I'm playing reasonably well and just getting flagged, I have decided to accept a slower time control. So Anilkov, you're the one I will play with today. So let's play with this guy from Spain. And although clearly it says my flag is Dutch, so you never know with these flags. But okay, let's play the Sicilian again because why not? I need to play faster and I need to play games without so many moves because I spent too much time talking, which apparently you guys couldn't even hear, and then I ended up getting flagged with an extra queen. So I have to play faster. So let's play the Najdorf again. Oh, bishop g5. What a joy. Okay, let's just go e6, and then play like, I don't know, I'll just play queen c7 just to keep things sort of on the wraps. Okay, so I have no idea about this position. Let's play b5 just because. I think if I get my bishop to b7, I'll be fine, and I don't think e5 is going to work here very well because after bishop b7, his queen will struggle to find a square that will make him happy. So this is, I don't know. I mean, white should, of course, just take on f6 and play a good version of the rouser. This queen c7 is not very good for black, but okay, as soon as white plays a3, I'm a happy guy. So I'll just go knight bd7 and now stop him from taking on f6. We'll do something like this. This is old theory. It's been so long since I checked this line, but let's see. Let's go bishop b7, and now yeah. So these positions are like really bad for white strategically. He has to make something direct happen, and usually he has very good chances to do that. But like he has to start throwing like g4 or bishop d3, knight d5. So he probably wants bishop d3 into knight d5 here. And I think in an analogous position, there's some funny business, but let's just go queen b6 and challenge this knight. Oh no, are we lost again? I think we're okay. I don't. Oh, did I not? Did I choose the wrong person to play with? Okay. Well. Sorry if I'm supposed to only play premium members. I missed that, but this guy will get a nice game out of it. This is not especially subtle. I want to sacrifice on c3 pretty soon, but okay, so rook e1, he probably wants some kind of knight d5, but I'm not very scared of it. For example, if I go bishop e7, and he goes knight d5, and I go knight takes d5, bishop takes g5, f takes g5, and knight e5, I think I'm doing pretty well there. The knight on e5 is just sort of a pretty good glorified pawn. I could just chop on c3 as well, but do I want to chop on c3 here? Nah, let's just go bishop 7. I don't see what he's going to do. If he plays like queen h3 or something, I was thinking, okay, he's really begging me to take on c3 at some point here. But I'm again going to be patient. Let's start with h6 and just kick this bishop. And if he goes bishop h4, I will probably play g5. And if he takes on f6, I probably can take with the bishop pretty comfortably because his knight will then have to move, and it's not so easy to find a good square. I don't believe in knight d5 at this point for white when I have a dark square bishop like that. And once he moves his knight away, I'm free to play e5 because I will no longer have to worry about knight d5, and then white will be left with some bad pieces and a hard time getting either h4 or g5 through. So I like my position here, and most importantly, I like that I have a little bit of time to play with because I don't want to get flagged again. That's always deeply embarrassing, and I'm not very good at that part, but Let's see. So oftentimes in these Najdorfs, when you go bishop takes f6, you're like walking right into knight takes b5. Like for example, if I hadn't included queen b6 and knight d4, he could have potentially taken on b5. Yeah, so he's doing this, but with my king safe on f8, I don't believe in this sacrifice at all. I don't think he has any real chance to open my king further because he can't play h4, he can't play g5. And in fact, I might just start attacking him next move with like a5, a4, and b5, b4. But, you know, we'll see. But, yeah, so bishop f5, okay. I mean, he has to try something. That makes sense. But if I unpin my knight, now let's just go queen c7, and this seems like a good way to do it because now I'm also potentially threatening a checkmate on c2. It's defended for the moment, but like if I played g6 at some point, which I would like to do to clear g7 for my king, it's nice that he won't be able to take on d7. So he could play something like queen e2 here, but like g6, and then his bishop goes away, and then I go king g7, and at some point I will just be a piece up unless he can make something very direct happen. So I'm going to go g6 and challenge this bishop. Let him figure out what to do with it. And then I'll put my king on g7, and that should be more or less that. I think my king is reasonably safe, and I will survive this one. In order to make these positions work, like you need to have more attacking power, and then you need like my king to have been forced somewhere unpleasant. And here I think my position is pretty safe. I don't see how he's going to cause any real problems to my king's safety. Like if I play king g7 and then... Alright, so that knight, I don't believe he's going to check me on e6 or f5, so I'm not going to bother with it and just proceed with king g7. And I'm ready for rook he8 next, and then I will be a piece up. So, yeah, he doesn't have enough pieces in the attack, so I will be okay here. King b1 is fine. Okay, so rook e8, and now I think I will survive this game without getting flagged. So, let's see. Okay, f5. So he's at least trying to open my king. I have to give him props for that, but don't think it will be enough. So I'm going to take this rook and force his knight backwards, and then probably just go like queen e7 or something. All right, so queen e2. Let's play. Just take on d5 maybe. Now let's go queen e7 and challenge this queen. Get my queen to e5 or something, and then... Alright, I'll go g5. Keep everything closed. I'm not worried about knight e6. I'm not worried about rook e1. So h4, queen e5. I don't think the h file will cause any concern. That is checkmate. Okay, so this maiden one I managed not to blunder, but let's see if... Let's find another challenge from somebody else. And I'm supposed to accept only members with the crown next to them. So let's see. Looks like somebody with a high rating wants to play 5-minute. I like that. That way I can hopefully play without getting flagged. So this, good luck to you, Panicky, another German we have here. So, okay, let's just keep playing the Sicilian because it's fun. All right, no, knight c3, come on. That's not a manly move. Let's go, let's see if he wants to play into a Najdorf. Okay, close Sicilian, fine. Boring, but that's okay. Let's see. So as long as I don't let him play d4, I should be fine. Is there any way for me to make this interesting? Let's go like queen d7. There we go. There's a goofy move that I'm sure he hasn't seen before. I want to play b6 and then put my bishop on b7 without allowing him to play e5. So he can try to punish me with bishop e3 and d4, but because I haven't yet committed to e6, I think this should be totally fine. So now I probably should just go like knight h6, and then h3, no, but h3 and then d4 is coming. So let me just keep developing normally. He can play d4 here if he wants to transpose to an open Sicilian, but that's fine. I'll just go cd4, knight d4, knight f6. And basically those positions are... These positions where like white plays d3, d4 in 2 moves, oftentimes they can be very dangerous for black if he has played e6 already, but because I haven't, I'm not concerned at all. This just looks like a pretty normal Sicilian to me. And b6 bishop b7 is a little bit unusual, but that's a hard thing for black to get in often when he's playing against these g3 Sicilians, because white will have e5 ready. So because I've already got this in, I'm pretty confident about my position. I don't think he can get away with knight c6 and e5, although now that I'm looking at it, it looks somewhat scary. h3 is not scary though, so castle. And if knight c6, I can always just take with the queen if I need to so that he cannot play e5. So I'm not particularly concerned about that anymore. And plus, after knight c6, I could go bishop c6 and meet e5 with bishop g2 now. So f4, okay, that's fine. I'm not scared of f5, so I will proceed along with normal development. At some point, I'll probably play like knight a. I'm probably threatening like knight a5 next would be an annoying move for white to deal with because he couldn't play b3 anymore, and knight c4 could be coming, as well as potentially an exchange sacrifice on c3 that I thought about playing last game but wasn't able to. So let's see. Queen d2. That's a pretty good move because now I can't play knight a5 as comfortably anymore. What should I play? And should I be playing faster than I am? That's almost certainly true. But knight a5, b3, queen c7, it looks like I'm threatening some stuff, but he'll always have knight db5 or something. Queen c7, if knight d5, knight takes d5, takes queen c3. Chop, chop. That actually looks pretty good. Queen c3, take, take, rook. King f2, rook fc8, I'm threatening to take on c2. Yeah, let's just go knight a5. If he wants to play b3, I'll let him figure out what to do after queen c7. Or if he wants to play b3, queen c7 could be pretty annoying, and I don't see a great way out then. Yeah, so like the ideal move for white here would be knight d5, but if I'm not wrong, I believe knight takes d5 and queen c3 is very strong for black then. Maybe he can just go rook a d1 there, but this was my whole plan, that I thought this position seemed okay for me. Like, if he were to, for example, if he could play knight d5, take back with the pawn, and then get c4 in, I think white would be much better due to his extra space and the weakened c6 square and the misplaced knight on a5, but I believe that queen c3 will be enough counterplay and that I should be okay there. But it's very direct. It's, I mean, I could be, if I'm missing something and he is able to consolidate, I could just end up much worse. But I don't think I am, so I'm reasonably optimistic here. Let's see. Well, he can play knight b5 here, either one, but I will just play queen b8, and then, like, the knight is going to be misplaced on b5 and immediately vulnerable. So here we're going to see what's happening after queen c3, and if he can do anything. So rook a d1, this is sort of what I thought was his best try. Now I have to figure out how to proceed. So I can take on d2, rook c3, then he goes bishop f2, and then... well, I think I have to try, so let's just do it. Takes, rook c3. Now, after bishop f2, I think I'm going to have to take on d4, which is not a good sign, but... Oh, no, I can... But, yeah, well, actually, it's probably okay. King f2 I don't think is as good. Now I can go rook c8. The big point with bishop f2 is it would clear the e1's... He would clear the way for rook e1 to go harass my pawn. Okay, so bishop e4. If I play f5, where does this bishop go? I don't see where, because if bishop d3, I can take on d5. So I'm going to go f5. Maybe he can go bishop d3 and knight b5 later, though. Maybe I should have played bishop a6 first to avoid this. Yeah, so here I think I'm going to have to go down and exchange, but I think it's actually still going to be pretty good for me. Like, he can go knight b5, and then I have to sacrifice an exchange. This is not great, but after rook takes d3, he has to take with the pawn, and then after a6, he's going to have to play knight back to d4, and then I'm going to have really good compensation for this exchange down. So a6, now he has to play knight back to d4, which is like a really misplaced piece. And now let's say I just go like b5. Now he's potentially threatening rook c2. I don't want to trade rooks. So let's go like maybe knight c6 or e5. Okay. So maybe this isn't as good for me as I thought, but still after... All right, let's just start making faster moves. I need to play fast. All right, so rook c2. So he's doing the right things here, trying to trade rooks, but I'm not going to consent to that, of course. If he plays b4... Okay, so here now I can go knight c6, and now I think I have everything more or less under control. But I just blundered b6? Okay, I'm blundering everything. And he can go knight g5, knight e6, so I'm just losing all my games, but I think taking b6 was actually a bad decision. I think he should have gone knight g5. Because now I'm starting to make trouble after knight b4, and he will have to keep everything protected. So, like, for instance, here I'm already going to start taking some stuff. Knight takes d3, knight takes a2. What am I going to do? Let's just take on d3. And then bring knight back to b4. So he can play knight g5 and take my h7 pawn if he desperately wants it, but I don't think that's very good for him. So knight back to c6, b4, and then I get my exchange back. But now he's taking my a pawn, so that's also a problem. Or is he? Now let's go knight d8. Yeah, so now we have a pretty interesting endgame here. It's probably pretty balanced, but I kind of like black. So how am I going to play? Let's just start harassing these pawns. I don't see how he defends them so easily. If he plays bishop c1, I can play knight e6 as an in-between move, and then after... Okay, so bishop d2, I'm not sure what that's about. I can get rid of this guy, and then take this one as well. And now I think I've survived this. Rook c8, and I can play king d7. My knight is goofy, but I don't see how he's going to take advantage. So let's get my knight out of the way and get ready for knight c5. And now I think I've finally turned this around. So he flagged, but I believe I had a winning position anyway. So good game at Panicky. I think this was a very interesting one. I'm not sure how the position was after knight d5 because if white could consolidate it and kick my pieces away, I was going to be much worse, but I didn't see how he could have. All right, so let's see who else wants to play. Let's play with Teja Ravi. That sounds like an Indian, so no more Germans. But okay, so I got white this game. Let's play e4. Let's see if he wants to play a Sicilian too. Oh, Scandinavian. Okay, now we're having fun. So queen d6. What are we supposed to do here? Like d4, a6. Man, I'm too old for this stuff. So let's just keep developing. Bishop g4. All right, you know what? Let's just go straight forward, d5. Show me how you attack my center. I don't want to let him play knight c6, so I just thought I'd go d5. All right, get rid of this bishop, out of my face. Okay, so now bishop h5. Let's just keep developing. I think the problem for black here is he's going to have to play e6 or c6 someday. I don't believe he'll have enough pressure on my center otherwise. Although just as I'm saying that, I'm realizing now he might just take my stuff like next move. Oh boy, why do I do this to myself? I could have just been a normal human being. All right, let's go knight e4. No, knight e4, yes, queen b4 check. So, man, am I already just worse against this guy? That'd be a shame. Okay, let me play knight d2. No, okay, knight g5. This seems like a good move. Challenge this bishop. If he takes on e2, he will have to waste time defending f7 later. Probably it was stupid to play h3 in the first place because of this exact reason, but at least here I don't see how he's going to like immediately take my center, which, well, given the way I played, seemed like a possibility. But maybe... If I lose in 10 moves to the Scandinavian, you guys are entitled to laugh at me. Okay, so He wants to play like knight b6 or something next, which is going to be annoying. So let's just go bishop d3 and challenge this bishop on g6. I can potentially hope for like queen g4 and bishop f4 to complete my developments, and then, I mean, challenging the bishop on g6 is kind of the big thing I want to do because he's going to break me on d5 pretty soon. So what is going to happen, and why is my position so bad against the Scandinavian? This probably isn't that terrible, because if he plays knight f6, I'll be able to take on g6 and go knight f7. So if he tries like knight b6 to threaten the pawn, then I'll be able to play queen g4. Okay, so now that he's blocked the ability to play knight f6 and taken some pressure off of the d5 pawn, that I think improves my position considerably. I'm still probably not doing that great here, but I'm at least not panicking the same way. I think I should play queen g4 now and pin this knight and stop it from going anywhere. If he plays knight h6, it's a bad square for the knight, so I'm happy to see that. So let's just give this a try. But maybe he can go... okay, so I didn't think this was so bad, because, again, like, my pawns look ugly, but if he has to play e6 to challenge them, which I think he probably will, then I don't worry too much about my pawn structure, because it will get fixed. So queen e5, can I just bishop f4 him? Don't see what the point of that one was. Okay, so queen d4, and now I'm going to castle. So if he wants to take d3, he can have it. I'll probably checkmate him. Knight f6. I'm going to go queen f3 because he cannot take on d5. That will lose. So after queen f3, if he takes on d5, I will take back and go knight d6. And now I'm ready to play rook c1 and try to challenge the c7 pawn. Okay, so it looks like he fell for my little trickery. And now I managed to swindle my way out of what looked like a very dangerous Scandinavian. And here, I don't think his pieces will be enough for my queen. As long as I don't get her trapped, but I don't think that's too much of a risk at this point. So queen e6, and now if he plays bishop e7, I'll probably just take it, but... Okay, rook c1, just activate the pieces. Alright, let's just take this, that's probably the easiest way. And I'm a queen exchange up and winning a pawn as well, so this one I think I will survive. But I had a little bit of a scare there because I misplayed the position so badly. At this point I am taking everything and I am good to go. Chop, chop. And I've been known to mess up winning positions a lot, but this one I think I will. So good game to Teja Ravi too. I think I may have been in trouble at some point, but but good game. So let's see who else wants to play. Okay, I have. Let's see. We've got a German, a Spanish, an Indian. I see a Slovakian. Let's play with a Slav. Let's play with a Slovakian. Okay, so good luck to Michal Palika. All right, let's keep playing the Sicilian because that's how you have fun. All right, so oh come on, this is boring. All right, I lost the game like this once a long time ago. I was like 2580 and I was playing a 2300, and he played this exact line here and like offered me a draw very early, and then I declined and like played some horrible move and got clobbered. So while this line is not particularly fun compared to like the standard open Sicilians you might get, you can't just assume that it's nothing either. I mean, white can play it, and if you do something stupid, you'll probably lose. But I don't understand the point of b4, b5, because now I think I will break in the center with d5 pretty easily. So he wants to meet d5 with e5, I guess, but alright, so let's just mess up the game because I feel like having fun. c4. I want to open the position. So jump on d3. And now white's pawn on b5 is very overextended because it has weakened the c3 pawn and the c5 square. I don't think e5 is going to work here because I can play knight takes e5. So let's go h6 before anything else. Challenge this bishop. Let him figure out what he wants to do about it. Oh, he even takes that. Okay, if bishop takes f6, e5, and then I lose, I guess that's his big trick. So I have to take with the knight. I wanted to take with the bishop, but I didn't think I could. So now, yeah, like this position here is like a perfect example of why the pawn on b5 is misplaced. Like with my bishop pair, I would never really worry here with black, but like if that pawn were back on b3 and he could like challenge my queen with knight b5 and not have to worry about the c4 pawn, he'd be doing pretty well. So now that this bishop has left c2 and I'm not worried about e5 anymore, I'm going to go knight back to d7, looking for either knight c5 or bishop f6 or something. So now if I go knight c5, do I just win the c4 pawn? I think I probably do. But I might not even take it, actually. I like my knight so much and his bishop so little. If I try bishop f6, yeah, let's just do that. I'm threatening to take on e4, take on c3 and e4, and I'm going to let him figure out how to stop that from happening. It doesn't look so easy to do. And here my pieces are very good. Okay, so now everything starts falling, one after the other. Knight d3 comes next. So let's chop here and go knight d3. That seems like a pretty good solution. And white's bishop on b3 is not very good, and he's facing other problems as well. All right, so chop on e1, and let's just go d5 and open the position should be fine. I have rooks. I want an open position for them, and here I believe I should be okay. All right, let's go away, and then I will take c4 next. Okay, so you want to do this, but I don't think white has very much compensation here, so I'm going to just keep playing. All right, let's just rook d8, bishop b1, and hope that this is checkmate when it isn't. I could just take on c4 here, but there's no reason to let him into h7, so I'm not going to. And this position is very depressing for white, so I expect resignation soon. But okay, so good game to Michal Palika. Play the Open Sicilian; it's more fun. But let's play someone else. So let's see if we can. Who's this? Okay, we have someone from the UK trying to get all the countries here. So we've got now UK, Slovakia, Germany, Spain, and India. So good luck to Mr. Dodgy. Let's see if he plays the Open Sicilian. Open Sicilian? Let's see. a6. Najdorf again. What does he play? Bishop e3. Okay, so I don't know. Let's just play a move just for the heck of it. I don't think this move is supposed to be very good, but let's just see what happens. f3, b5, and now g4 already. This feels over-ambitious, but let me just play h6. I'm playing a very weird opening here, but we'll see how it goes. I don't know why I haven't moved my e-pawn yet, but so rook g1. Can I go b4, d5? I think I can. That's what you're supposed to do in these positions. And maybe now I'll even make use of... Maybe now I can even make use of having of only spending one move to play e5. So, like, if he moves the knight, I'm tempted to play e5 first and then d5. That may be asking for it, but yeah, I don't really want to let the knight to f5, so I should just probably play d5 here. If he wants to take b4, that's fine. I will go, like, rook b8 or something and have way too much counterplay with both de4 and e5 threatened. So here I think I'm pressuring his center pretty nicely. But who knows? We'll see if I can beat back the attack, because it could get pretty dangerous. But, like, for example, here, the knight could be sort of misplaced on a4. Like, after something like e takes d5, knight takes d5, and say he goes like bishop c4, e6, and then castles long. If that knight were then on e2 and he could then play like knight f4 and get rid of this knight on d5, he might just crush me on e6 before I could get castled. But without the knight f4 mechanism, I think it will be very hard for him to just crash straight through the way you'll sometimes see. I think there was a Leko Topolov game like this a long time ago. But yeah, I mean, this position here, like in general, when black plays h6, yeah, so that one I thought I could just go rook b8, and that white had too many problems to solve here with e5 on the way, and with... Okay, so he wants that. Interesting. So if I play e6, he has knight d6 check is the big point, but if I play bishop c6, where's the queen going to go? Yeah, I don't see where the queen is going now. Because if queen a3, then I will play e6 and the knight will hang at the end. So here I think I'm actually winning material on the spot. And yeah, for those wondering why I have a Dutch flag, it is because I was in the Netherlands when I made the account. I don't know how to change it, but it has made me learn not to trust the flags of the people here. So while I'm trying to play people from new countries every single time, I may be failing to do so. But yeah, for whatever reason, I have a Dutch flag. I'm not Dutch. I can't speak a single word of it. But, well, I like the Netherlands. It's a lovely country. But unfortunately, my flag is definitely fraudulent. So here I think white is losing material. Yeah, after queen a3, I'm going to get e6 in. And now something's going to fall. He can take g7 just for counterplay, but in compensation, but I don't think it's enough. I mean, my pieces are too good, and I don't think he has serious attacking pressure against my king. So I believe I'm winning material here. My bishop on g7 is now really good, but I can't castle very easily because the rook on g1 makes g5 come. But still, like, queen a5 is coming next, and I think that I should be doing very well. His queen still isn't, like, particularly safe. I'm probably threatening bishop back to f8, so... despite my somewhat dubious structure on my king, I think the extra material should just count here, and black looks winning to me. So what's he going to do? I think he has to play knight c3, but it's not going to save him. Okay, g5. Let's just check on a5 and force a queen exchange. That seems like a recipe for success. Once the queens come off, there's not much more to say. Bishop f8 was also very strong there. So queen c3, sure. Now if rook takes g5, I have bishop h6. If bishop g5, I can take on b2. I can take on taking h2, bishop f4, everything hangs. If I take b2, bishop c1, rook takes c2, looks good to me. It's probably risky to, you know what, let's just be, no, hang on. Bishop f4 is a legitimate threat here, so I have to be at least a little bit careful, but yeah, let's just take b2. If bishop c1, rook c2 seems good enough. I don't see how he's going to punish me. Yeah, c2. And I think I'm good to go. And my pieces do a pretty good job of keeping everything safe. Knight takes d5. Well, he's fighting at least, but... this will not work, but it's at least... Okay, he just resigned, but I mean, I could have done anything to maintain a winning position. I was thinking even just like bishop h6 or bishop f8 or something would be quite sufficient. But okay, so good game to Mr. Dodgy. Thank you for playing. Let's see who else wants to play with me. Where's this guy from? Okay, a new player, Israel. So now, more countries represented. So now player from Israel. We've got Israel, India, UK, Spain, Germany, Slovakia. 6 countries. We'll see if we can keep going. Okay, so our first D4 game. All right, let's play the semi-Slav, if he wants to allow it. So I have a repertoire series on this coming. Oh, c takes d5. Really? Okay. This is boring. All right, so here I think knight e4 is supposed to be pretty good. Bishop back to f4. Really? Is this supposed to be okay? It's just like, is there a way to punish this? Probably not, but... Okay, let's go queen a5 and let him decide how to deal with this pin. Because if he plays bishop d2, I'm happy to take the bishop here from him. I don't know. This is probably pretty stupid what I'm doing now, but, you know, why not? Okay, so queen b3. If I go knight c6, he has queen d5, and that's probably pretty annoying, so... but queen d5, can I do something goofy there? No. And then knight d4. Nah, okay, so probably I have to be boring and play knight c3 when I imagine he will play bishop d2. Now let's just go e6 and get ready for bishop b4 next is fine. So e3, let's play bishop b4. I want him to, this stops him from playing bishop b5 check and encourages him to play knight e2, which will harm his position because then he cannot develop the bishop very easily. So this seems like a good way to develop. Sure, then I can play, maybe I can take on c3 already. Yeah, let's just go knight c6. What do I want to do here? Can take on c3 and go bishop a3. It's, yeah, okay. Let's at least mess up his structure. I mean, this is absolutely nothing special for me. White is certainly fine here, but, you know, it's the exchange Slav. I'm never going to get very far with black so early in the game. But at least here I've compromised his structure a little bit and have something to play for in the long run. So I'm wondering if I should be delaying castling, but probably doesn't matter so much. Yeah, so this is one of those positions where, like, strategically I'm doing well because of the bad pawn structure for white, but his bishop is better than mine. So I'm going to try to trade that bishop off with b6 and bishop a6. If I can get these bishops traded, I think black will be doing extremely well, but white should have a way to, like, I mean, he can try, like, queen c2 here and try to checkmate me. In fact, queen c2 actually might just be crushing because I have blundered rook b5, so... Yeah, here I am blundering everything again. Queen c2 looks really strong now because if h6, rook b5, and my queen is basically trapped, and he will take on d5 next. So after queen c2, I'm going to have to sacrifice a pawn, but that's okay. After bishop a6, bishop h7, and then king h8, I don't think I'm mated on the spot, and then rook a c8 will come and he can't castle. So it's not that terrible, but it's pretty bad. Luckily for me, he didn't see queen c2, so now I believe black is absolutely fine again. I see nothing wrong with my position at all. Here he can try c4, but I'm even wondering if I can play knight b4 then. Knight b4, bishop d6, knight d3. Yeah, okay, so now I'm very comfortable. Like, he's not going to get c4 very easily. I will play rook f8, tuck my bishop away, go knight a5. So here I think that I'm now have a pretty nice advantage. So he's trying to mate me, but maybe he can try g4, g5 here, but it feels like too much. At this point, I think black is very comfortable because once I retreat my bishop and go knight a5, I will have this nice weakness to attack on c3, and then I don't see what he's doing about it. So it's not that easy for me to double rooks, but okay, he's threatening c4, but my plan was to bring the bishop back anyway, so it's not super concerning. I don't think he can play c4, knight a5, queen a4, dc, queen d7, queen b7, and I'm good. So I'm going to get knight a5 in, and then I'll be very comfortable. Maybe he can play like rook c1, though. And after knight a5, queen a4, it's not that easy for me to play knight c4. So yeah, there he goes. But it still should be pretty good for me. Let's go. So knight a5, queen a4, that's the problem that I'm facing. But it's not so easy for me to double. Like, I think I can get away with this, though. I'm going to go knight a5, queen a4, rook c6. And then he cannot play c4, and then I'll get my rook to c8. And as long as I can stop him from playing c4 and like eventually reroute my queen to b7 and knight c4, I should be good to go. So yeah, queen a4, rook c6, and I don't see how he's going to get c4 through. He can try e4, but I don't think that helps him very much either. And if knight b3, I always have rook c4, which is a very important resource. Or even queen c4 actually should be even better. So he probably should try e4 here just to make something happen, but I'm not loving his position. I can even just take e4 and give him the hanging pawns, and if he takes back, go queen c4 or something like that. Okay, so he played knight b3, but I believe I can... Wait, hang on. Does rook c4, he has queen d7, doesn't trap the queen, but I can go queen c4, and now he must trade the queens, and this endgame is absolutely miserable for white. I will be able to double my rooks on the c file, and I have no weaknesses, and all the pawns are on black squares, and this is like exactly what I was hoping for when I took on c3, was that I would be able to like complete my development, stop white from crushing me, and then like play against the c pawn. And I basically got exactly what I wanted, but as we saw earlier, it could have gone wrong if white had been more aggressive. And also here, like, we're seeing that my bishop is just better than his. Like, if he could play a5 and then meet b5 with knight c5, he'd be totally fine. But here, like, I mean, I probably could have taken a5, but this seems just extremely easy. I will play a6 next, solidify everything, and like, my bishop is just so much better than his. Like, he can't get knight c5 in. Okay, so a6. And now let's go like knight b2 and knight a4 and take his pawns, and that should be enough to bring the game to its conclusion. Knight a4. And now I'm going to start taking his stuff. c1. Can even play bishop a3. But I'm just... Let's just go bishop a3. Kick this rook away. I guess bishop b4 seems pretty good. Put more pressure on his position. He probably should just take and play knight c5. Yeah, but it's not going to work. If he could keep both of my rooks out like this, he'd probably have like good holding chances. But because one of my rooks is already in, I'm not too concerned. Let's just go rook c6. If he takes my knight, I have rook c1 check as an in-between move. So now if I play rook c4, how's he going to defend it? Don't know. Rook b1, let's see. Go f6. At some point I'm going to take on c5 and go e5, but yeah, let's just do it now. e5, kick this bishop away. If bc5, I'll probably just go like rook a4. Yeah, this seems good enough. That I'm confused by. Okay. Maybe that was a mouse slip, but he wasn't going to save himself at that point anyway. All right, so good game to Shmuliaki. I think you could have played better with queen c2, but apart from that, I was reasonably happy. So let's see who else wants to play. Any other countries we have here? Okay, Pat Peter, Hungary. We've got more countries. Okay, so good luck, Pat Peter. All right, let's see how many Sicilians we can get today. All right, so we've got a lot of Najdorfs already. Rook g1. Well, there's a move I've never seen before. So I don't understand it, so I'm going to play e5. Man, come on, you can't play rook g1 and then be surprised after e5. Okay, so knight b3. I'm not super worried about g4. Maybe I should be, but I'm not, so I'm just going to develop normally. Maybe I should have played bishop e6 to meet g4 with d5. I think that's what you normally do in these Najdorf positions, but this is fine. Like, I'm going to play h6 now. And my point with this is that if he wants to play h4 and then g5, that my knight will get the h5 square, which I think is going to be pretty valuable. So now, like after bishop e6, but then he can go g5, g6. Let's go g6. This way, after g5 and I take back, my knight will be very secure on h5, and I don't have to worry about g6. He will get his knight to d5, but after bishop e6, I can challenge it before he's able to play bishop e3. So this seems okay for me. So Chris is telling me that rook g1 is not that bad, but yeah, he's probably right. But let's see. So if he takes with the bishop, I'm like very comfortable. I hope he takes with the bishop. That would be pretty good for me. But yeah, he takes. Of course, he takes this way. And now knight h5. And here, like if he goes knight d5 and I play bishop e6, he's just not quite fast enough to abuse the b6 square. So I think I should have decent counterplay. I don't know, maybe he's a little better here, though. After something like knight d5, bishop e6, and then bishop e3, like if he goes like knight d5 now, knight d7, queen d2, then I'm starting to worry about him like threatening to castle take my bishop and eventually take the d6 pawn, but I don't know. I've always sort of believed in these positions for black, like it can't be that bad for me. So queen d2, let's just proceed along with normal development, knight d7. And one nice thing about this position is, like in all of these positions in general in Najdorf, you sort of have to castle, and here I just don't think I will need to. Like maybe if I can go king f8 here, and then king g7, king f8, knight d5, bishop takes d5, queen takes d5, queen c7, bishop c4, and then I lose. Or no, I don't lose. I just go rook h7, he has no threats, and then... Yeah, so let's go king f8. Because I'm a little bit worried about rook h1, bishop e2, and I want to be able to play knight f4 in response, so let's just hide this king away. If knight d5 and I take it, queen takes d5, queen c7, bishop c4, rook h7, it looks like he's like super active, but in fact I don't really see what he's doing. Okay, so maybe he wants to play rook h1 next, but actually that's not so easy because I can't... No, this is fine. I'll go king g7, and if rook h1, I have knight f4, and then I will take with the king on h8 so that g5 is hanging. This was my whole point of playing this way with king f8, was that it's harder for him to play rook h1. Okay, so king b1 is a perfectly sensible move, but it also doesn't scare me very much. I'm going to continue with my development, and then... So no, okay, so knight d5, I think I kind of need to take this knight. I can't let him take on e7 and d6, so we'll take this way. And then at some point, like, yeah, these structures are always very interesting. Now here I think I have a pretty good version because I haven't played b5 yet, so he's not able to get the knight to a5. But like here, for example, if he plays rook h1, again I'm ready with knight f4 because the c2 pawn is hanging. If I had played b5 and he could go knight a5, knight c6 here, he'd probably have a pretty good position. But okay, so c4. And now he wants to play rook h1 next, and then I will not be able to play knight f4. So that looks like a problem to me. Maybe I can try knight b6, but then he just goes rook c1. The right plan is b6, a5, but rook h1 looks pretty darn annoying. Like if he can play rook h1, trade everything, after knight f4, trade everything, and then like get his knight to d4, like I'm going to be much worse. So I have to be somewhat careful here. I'm going to play a very sad-looking move, but my whole point is to meet rook h1 with rook h8 so that I no longer have to worry about the structure. And eventually I will go b6 and a5. Oh, did I just blunder c5? That would not be good. I think I did. He's just going to go c5 and I'm crushed. Actually, I don't know. c5 doesn't threaten anything. Maybe I can keep playing. But rook h7 seems to have potentially blundered c5. Or at least, well, it definitely blundered in that I didn't see the move before I played it. But okay, queen c3. So the guy wants f4. But I'm not... but now if I move my king, he's going to play rook h1. So he wants f4. Do I care that much about f4? Maybe not, actually. Let's go b5 and make counterplay. Now b5, knight a5. Huh, this guy's actually pretty good. Okay, I'm going to go knight b6. and try to get. And now if he plays rook c1, I will go knight a4 and knight c5 at a moment when he cannot take and play d6, and then I think I'm sort of okay. But this still looks very dangerous. Like even if he plays like bishop g4 here. Okay, so knight d2, and now I want knight a4. Challenge this queen, ask her where she wants to go. If queen c2, I will probably play b5. Yeah, okay, b5. Look for counterplay, open the queen side. But still, I think white has a pretty good position compared to what they normally get in sort of these sidelines. So queen b7, and now yeah, he's probably doing pretty well here. This rook h7 move really didn't pan out the way I was hoping. Okay, so now knight b3 comes in, he wants knight a5, so I'm going to stop it with bishop d8. He can maybe try c5 now, but it will cost him a pawn on d5, and that's a pretty good pawn. I don't know. This game's been messy, but I'm pretty happy with how it's gone so far. All right, queen e4. Makes a lot of sense. Let's see, bishop b6. He's going to take on b5, I guess. He's trying to take on b5, sort of. All right, let's take c4 and hope for the best. That's generally my MO. Hope for the best. Okay, but the best is not going to come very easily. Okay, bishop takes c4. I'm surprised by. I thought he was going to take with the queen. So I'll try bishop b6 and then hopefully challenge this bishop on e3 a bit. All right, rook c1, so now I'll take here, and now my knight gets free. This is a good sign for me. As soon as this knight gets free, I mean, I was sort of playing this whole game without a piece, and now my knight is woken up, which gives me like decent chances. But he's taking my pawn. Let's go queen a7 so that after bishop a6 I can go knight f5 and stick my knight in his face. Queen b5, and that's not good. Okay. I guess I have to play knight b6. But even this, like, his pieces are awkward. Okay, let's give it a check while I can. King c2, and now I can take on d5, and now I'm winning. Rawr. Better lucky than good. Okay, now my pieces spring to life. Always counterplay in the Najdorf. I mean, I think I was largely outplayed this game, but it seems like I got lucky. Okay, e4, this should be mate very quickly. Let's go queen f2 check. If knight d2, knight d4, taking the queen seems quite enough for me. But this also is mate after queen e2 next. Okay, so good game, Peter. I think you had a very good position at some point, but I was able to sort of wriggle out of it. Very well played. Okay, let's see. All right, yet another country, Monty24 from Singapore. Let's have a good game. Okay, and I finally got white. So let's play e4 because we're in a Sicilian. All right, so today's basically a Sicilian theme day except for that one exchange Slav. All right, so let's see if he's playing Sveshnikov like Magnus. No, he's playing the Rouser. Okay, let's just play something interesting. h3. This is not a very common move, but it's not totally stupid either. All right, so now I'll bring my knight to f3. And it's not so easy for him to comfortably put the bishop on e6. I think this was sort of the big point. Yeah, he can try, but knight g5 comes. This was my big idea. It's kind of like a bishop e3 Najdorf with e5 knight f3, but here I think it's a better version for white. The knight on c6 is a little misplaced. Then wait, am I just missing something, or is bishop c4 the end of the game? I think that's the end of the game. Yes, good game, Peter. You played very well. It was a very interesting game. This one, I think I just tricked him, or he tricked himself with bishop e6, bishop c8, but this seems like a disaster for black already, so I think I'm sort of in good shape. He probably has to play bishop e6 back, but that's not a recipe for success. Come on, guys, be nice in the chat. Everybody makes bad moves. It happens. Just Don't make fun of people for their bad moments. Okay, so good game, Monty. Sorry to have tricked you, but, well, you do what you gotta do. All right. Okay, let's see. So, see if we can get it. Okay, France, we got another country. And 26-64. Okay, we'll have a good game here. All right, so good luck to you, MDM. I don't know if your flag is for real or not, but I guess we're going to continue along with our standard Sicilian every single game. So, knight f6 and a6. So what I've seen... Oh, rook g1 again? Okay, let's play e5 again. And I guess last time I played bishop e7, and it seems like it didn't work very well, so this time I'm going to play bishop e6. In fact, I think I recall, yeah, bishop e6 is the best move, and then Monsieur Vachier-Lagrave had met bishop e3 with knight g4 at the Olympiad because the bishop could not move thanks to the hanging pawn on h2. So let's go bishop e6. And let's see, is Sam really sorry? No, pas du tout. But, you know, you should always just act the part. Okay, so bishop g5, I mean, this... In general here, I'm just thinking, like, rook g1, like, the whole point is to play g4, g5, and then bishop g5 just sort of gets in the way of that, so I'm pretty happy with my position right now. If he plays knight d5, I can take it. I could also play h6, but, like, here, I think I got a really good coordination. Yeah, so let's go bishop e7, probably castles, but this feels like a very good version of the Najdorf to me because I think this bishop g5 is really misplaced. So I'm going to go b5 and start looking for my typical play. Then, like here, often after b5, what white wants to do is play knight d5, and he can't right now. So that's a good sign for me. And no, I didn't look up the line during the game. I just remembered the game that Lavache played, or Monsieur Lavache, or Monsieur Vachier-Lagrave. No, but no, he won a very nice game at the Olympiad in this line in 2018. But yeah, what are we doing here, MDM? Bishop g5, and I mean the bishop belongs on e3 and the rook on g1 was not that useful. Yeah, so bishop takes f6 is a very bad sign for white because bishop is a very good piece. And now, unless I'm missing something, I have b4 and knight takes e4 with bishop g5 at the end. I don't think I am. So let's go b4. Oh, he has knight e2, that's why. But still, his position is just going to be very bad after, like, I don't know. A5, if bishop b5 check, I can probably just go king f8. Yeah, so here I think he has to play knight e2 to avoid getting immediately crushed by knight takes e4, which is not a good sign for white, but at the same time it's hard to suggest. Maybe knight takes e4 isn't the end of the world. He can take b4, but then I take f2. I mean, I think he has to play knight e2 here, but if you have to play knight e2 instead of knight a4, now after a5, like, white's probably just going to get crushed. He's not in time to play bishop b5 check, because then after king f8, I will be threatening both a4 and knight takes e4. And yeah, okay. No, I don't know. I'm not. Like, MVL's a great player. I shouldn't be making fun of his name. It's not very kosher of me. Let's see. Yeah, so king f8. I don't know why I keep neglecting my developments in the Najdorf and pretending it's not important to castle, but you know, you do what you got to do. Yeah, so queen d3 is a good move. But still, this looks very dangerous for white. So how do I want to play here? Maybe I'll just go g6 and get my king out. Yeah, this should be fine. My king will be very comfortable on g7, but I don't know. Well, why do I always play the Najdorf and never castle? This is the weirdest thing. Okay, so king b1 is a very slow move, so I'm just going to proceed along with my plan. Okay, so MDM is now going for me with f4. I'm not wildly scared. I think I should be, at least. If I play, should I just start throwing stuff? Yeah, let's just start throwing stuff. B4 and then A4 and then maybe he can play F5 here, but I don't think so. So knight D7 and now, or knight D2, excuse me. And now what's going to happen? Queen A5 maybe. Yes, actually, I think I've misplayed this a little bit. This F5 is more annoying than I gave it credit for. If I play B3, it doesn't look great. So I can play queen somewhere. Yeah, I don't think this is so bad, though. So, for example, I will go queen A5, and if F5, I can tuck my bishop back on C8 and then put it on B7, or potentially even A6. So this is probably still okay for me. Bishop C8, and then he cannot play knight C4 because of all this space I gained on the queen side, which is nice. So G4, he's coming after me. That's what he has to do. This is correct, but I should be okay. Bishop B7, G5 is a problem. Let's go G5 myself. It looks risky, but like this is another point. Like with my rook on H8, this becomes much less risky than it looks. So H4, H6. And like if I had been castled here and I had my rook on F8, I'd probably just be like checkmated in like 3 more moves. But as is, I think I'm actually doing just fine. Because my rook on H8 is going to hold things together. And he can't really threaten his pawn on G5 so well. Like for example, HG, Queen E3 would crush me if I had been castled. But because I had played differently, it's okay. So here, knight F3 now. He clearly wants to take on G5. That's not particularly subtle. Can play B3 and make a mess. I can play bishop B7 and make a mess. I can just defend this pawn on G5, but that's not very interesting. I can play D5 and make a mess. I'm going to make a mess somehow. I'm just trying to figure out the best way to do so. I don't really want to play knight D7 and be boring, but yeah, knight G3 comes and then it's too annoying. Let's see, what can I do? Bishop B7, HG, knight G5, no major threats, and then I can go like rook FC8 or something. No, that's not good. All right, let's just start throwing stuff and see what happens. So B3, I'm now threatening B takes C2, which would like really open up White's king pretty severely and compromise his position. I might just get crushed here, but you know, that's the price you pay for playing a move like B3. He could take on B3 and then play A3, but like after bishop B7, then it's starting to get dangerous for him. Alright, so take, and now A3, I guess. A4, wow, okay. I guess that makes sense to bolster the bishop. So if I go bishop B7, HG5, I'm not in time to take on E4, it's a shame, but maybe I can do something else. Take, do you even have a threat there? Not really, but... Alright, I'm going to be boring and play bishop a6 and go after the a4 pawn. It's probably not the best way, but... Okay, so chop, chop, and then he can take on g5, but after, like, bishop takes b5, I think this endgame should be very playable for me. I'll probably take on a4 now, and then he has to take my queen, and this looks very bad for white. So, knight c1, and now I can take on e4. Looks pretty good. I can play rook h4. I kind of like, actually, knight d7, keeping more pieces on the board, but... Yeah, I like knight d7. Keep more pieces on the board and get ready for, like, knight c5 next. And now if he plays g5, I can potentially play rook a8, f6, and then annoying, but I'm probably okay. Let's see. Let's go rook a8 is fine. f6, and now king g8. Oh, but he has knight takes b3. That's annoying. If I go king f8, let's go king f8, because now he will have to take on b3 anyway. And then I ended up with a pretty good endgame here, because all of white's pieces are hard to his pawns are hard to defend. So, but he's probably surviving this. I mean, he's going to run out of time, which is not... No, wait, rook c8 is just made. There we go. Okay, so good game, MDM. Merci pour jouer. Mais j'avais de la chance d'avoir gagné, mais okay. Keep on going. Let's see if anyone else wants to play. Any new countries? Let's see. So, Congo. Okay, let's play somebody from Congo. Here's a hint. If you want to play with me, the best thing you can do is change your country's flag, because I play with all the different countries. All right, so let's see if we can keep up our Sicilian theme match of the day, or if we're going to get something different. But let's see. I think this either will be my last game or second last game, depending on how long it goes. Okay, Peita Zeta, you have 10 seconds to make a move, or I'm going to abort and look for someone else. I don't know how to abort, though. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Okay, sorry, you missed your chance. Picked the wrong time to go to the bathroom. Challenges, let's see, who else? Okay, someone from Austria. Let's play with them. Okay, so Chess Beast Austria. Good luck to you. Is it nobody wants to play with me? They're not making moves? Okay, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Again, also picked the wrong time to go to the bathroom. All right, let's see. Who else do we have here? Okay, someone from Chile. Let's play with them. We haven't seen South America yet. Okay, so good luck to PGC. Let's have a good game and see if we can keep playing more Sicilians. All right, more Sicilians. Let's do this. Okay, d4. Let's see if he plays Sveshnikov like Magnus. Yes! Okay, so what are we supposed to do here? I don't even know. Let's see if he knows what to do after this silly move to stop him from playing b5. Black's definitely fine here, but if he doesn't know what to do, I might have some kind of chance. Okay, so bishop e7 is not the best move. I don't know why, but perhaps I can play bishop g5 now, actually. And this looks like a very good version of this Sveshnikov, because once I take on okay, so now I'm going to take on f6. He's going to have to take with the g-pawn. And so he took with the g-pawn, when normally when you take with the g-pawn, you want your bishop on g7 instead of e7. And also because I got a4 through, he's not going to be able to play b5 and keep my knight locked out of the game. So here I think already I like my position, but it's still messy. Basically in the Sveshnikov, which is something that Magnus showed in the World Championship match, one thing about the Sveshnikov is even when it goes wrong for black and you get a horrible position, there's always some counterplay, which is pretty annoying. And so yes, Lerx, the best move was, I believe the best move was a6 first and then bishop g4 to provoke f3, if I recall is the way to go. All right, so here I can play bishop c4 and force bishop e6, which I think I would like to do. It's still going to be a little annoying to put this game away. I could just trade the queens as well. Yeah, you know what, let's just get rid of this bishop. I have an extra pawn, the d5 square. I don't need to complicate things. So let's go knight d5. If knight d4, I have c3. And as soon as I complete my development, this game is completely finished because I have an extra pawn and the better bishop and a very nice outposted knight. So unless he can do something to me extremely direct, which I don't think he can, I am good to go. Yeah, I mean, here with my knight on d5, it's like I have a clean pawn up, better knight, better bishop. I mean, this is basically over already. But yeah, what I was saying about the Sveshnikov was like when Magnus was playing it in the World Championship match, like he got a winning position in the first game because I guess Caruana just didn't see it coming and he was not as well prepared and Magnus understood the structures better. But his positions when he went into the open Sveshnikov, like he was often just like getting out prepared and worse out of the opening, but he was always worse with counterplay and then he just played really well and like never was in much danger. I mean, so the thing about that's one nice thing about Sveshnikov is that when you get a bad position, like it's never like bad with no counterplay. Like you'll always have a chance to fight back. All right, so let's see. I probably shouldn't let the knight. I don't think I care if the knight comes to f4. Let's just keep gaining space and putting more pawns on black squares. If he plays knight f4, I can just I don't know. I can take it if I want to, but okay. So knight c7 challenges my knight, but it does so in a way that lets my bishop come to d5, which is definitely where I want it to be. And now if he plays knight back to e6, I can play b3. I can play rook a4. I can do no rook a4. I can't play, but. Knight back to e6. Let's just I don't know, save this with queen e2. I'm not thrilled about letting him play knight f4, but still just rook d1 and bishop d5. And this pawn is so weak on b7 and d7. Like it's b7 and f7. It should just crash straight through, I think. But yeah, like this is the nightmare for black. I mean, positions like this one, even when black still has his pawn on d6, like are often really bad for him, or like really, really bad. And even here without the pawn, I just don't even. I mean, I think this game is more or less finished already. Like, where does this queen go? Like, I'm not. I guess knight b6 is my threat, and I just don't see how black stops it. I mean, the queen has nowhere to go. Okay, so rook c4 is not a good sign for black either, and I'm quite comfortable here. Again, the queen has nowhere good to go. Alright, queen a8. Let's just put my rook on d7 first and ask questions later. Seems like a good policy. Rook d7, and if rook's, yeah, like he can't even move anything. It's almost stalemate. b7, let's play b4 just to control the c5 square, restrict his pieces to the absolute maximum possible. I probably should have just brought rook ad1, but this is fine. Okay, rook ad1, bring the pieces, and then I'll play like queen d5 next and take on b7 or something. Alright, g3. Get out of my face, you evil English Knigget. Alright. Let's just be boring, I think, is fine. Boring, but prudent. Take, knight e4, rook d7, and collapse. But take everything. Rook d7 is coming. b5 is coming. I mean, position falls apart. Okay, I think we have time for one more game, and I've been told that I haven't played against my own country, and so I see that, okay, I want to play someone from Heard Island and McDonald Islands. So I'm going to play with this player who is probably not from Heard Island and McDonald Islands, but possibly from America. Let's play a Sicilian and see if he can do anything to me. Oh, the Smith Mora. Okay. I've refuted this opening, but I want to save my reputation for a real game, so I will just be boring and play a normal Sicilian like so. So bishop c4. I probably should play e6. Chop, d6 is fine. Bishop e7. Super interesting, Mr. Heard Island and McDonald Islands. Right, let's take the bishop is fine. This way I can play knight c7 and bolster the knight on d5 later. You're probably supposed to take with the queen, but this is fine. If he plays knight c3, I'm going to castle, and then we're going to have an extremely interesting position after knight takes d5, e takes d5. Yeah, all right, this is going to be super interesting. Knight d5, e d5, super interesting game coming right up. And yeah, so today I tried to play everybody from a whole bunch of different countries, but last time I chose based on people whose names I thought were interesting. But I don't know. Next time I will find a new criteria to choose from. Okay, bishop g5. I think I can just drop back with bishop e7 is probably fine. Looks okay. Yeah, okay, this is very much equal. I mean, he can take on d5 with the bishop, and then ed, like, he'll have, like, bishop e7, and I'll have to take with the knight, but that's totally fine. Take, and now, yeah, this is very much equal. I'll probably just go, like, I don't know, b6, bishop b7, or bishop d7, bishop c6. If I can stop him from playing d5 and consolidate the position, maybe I'll have some chance to make something happen, but it's not. I think white easily has enough counterplay. Like, the real problem is it's going to be hard for me to develop my c8 bishop without letting him chop on d5 and force me to take with the pawn. So, okay, so he's coming after me, but that I think is probably ill-advised because now my bishop can come out. I don't believe in him taking on h7, so I'm not gonna worry about it. He can play knight e5, but I don't care. Play bishop e4, I guess. But at this point, I still think this is very much equal, but at least I'm maybe able to put some pressure on him. And hopefully I'll do more Banter Blitz later. I try to play with new people every time. I try to remember who I played last time so I didn't play with them again. Okay, h4. So this islander really wants to go after me, but I don't believe in this. As long as my knight can come back to f6, I don't think I'm ever going to get checkmated. But if he takes on d5 here, I would like to take with the bishop, but I probably can't. If I take with the bishop, that's the ideal blocker, then he can take on h7, knight g5, and then it's dangerous, but it's probably okay, actually. Bishop d5, if bishop h7, king h7, knight g5, king h6, queen d2, king g6, yeah, it's very dangerous, but I might just be a piece up at the same time. Let's just be boring and take with the knight. At least here, I mean, he cannot play knight e5 because of queen h4, so it's not so easy for white to figure out what to do. I'm starting to like my position now. Okay, queen d2. Let's just go knight back to e7, I guess. I'm not scared of knight to g5 anymore. Yeah, I don't know. I want to put pressure on this pawn. Let's just go knight to there. Okay, and now let's go queen d6 and prepare to double rooks. And it's not going to be easy for white to resolve these weaknesses. I mean, he can play h5 and try to mate me, but I just don't think it's going to work. Like, I play h6 and then he doesn't have enough pieces to give mate. Alright, so I guess rook a d8 is fine, or not? Should I play rook f d8? Yeah, let's go rook f d8. It looks a little risky to leave f7 undefended, but I don't think he can punish me for it. And so now I'm gonna just, okay, he wants rook e3 and boom boom. So can I get away with f6? Knight takes c6, knight takes c6, bishop c4, knight takes d4, rook takes e6. No, I can't do that. Okay, so I'm going to, so actually rook e3 is a little dangerous. I have to be a little bit careful. So just go g6. It weakens the dark squares a bit after knight g4, but I'm throwing you to take on d4. Yeah, okay, let's just be boring again and keep everything defended with knight d5. No rook lifts for you. I probably could have played better than this. This isn't very inspiring, but, you know, it's fine. He can play queen c2, queen g5, and now if f6 he has queen h5 is the big idea, but let's just go bishop e8 and keep everything nice and safe. Seems fine. I'm threatening f6 now. He can try knight g4, but it also doesn't scare me very much. I can play like queen f4 or something. Queen h5. If I go knight f6, where's the queen gonna go? Let's just play h6. I don't know. I might be begging to get checkmated here, but you know, let's just keep playing moves here. Develop my pieces, and maybe I'll just flag him. So what now? You want to come to h7 with the queen? I don't believe you. Go ahead. Play queen d3. I don't care. Queen d3, I go g6, and now you go h5, but if I go knight f6 and you go g4, that's a little scary, but probably not so bad. Let's just go g6 and meet queen g3 with knight f4. That seems pretty good. Or sorry, meet h5 with knight f4, excuse me. Alright, knight f4, rar. Queen e3, take, and now queen h6, and his queen's in my face, but I can kick her away. Queen back to e3, and now this is actually getting sort of dangerous, but I'm still more or less fine. Queen g7, g4, knight f6. If g5, my knight probably comes to g5, and then my queen is pretty stupid now. That's a shame. Let's go bishop a4. Challenge this rook. Force him to make a decision with it. Rook d2. Okay. Start to run with the king to a sort of safer zone. f4 I think is pretty weakening. Let's go knight e7. Now if he plays knight g4, I will have rook takes d4 as my big trick. Rook h2. And let's see, how do I want to proceed here? Let's go knight d5. Stop him from playing knight f6. Have I been tricked? No, I can play rook c5. I'm still okay. b3, and now who is attacking who? I am attacking you. There. f5 I can't do. Let's, how do I play this? This guy is resourceful. He's pretty good at chess. See, if I play bishop e8, are you actually killing me? I don't think so. Queen a7. And now I'm going to go rook c1. And now I'm going to mate him first. Yeah, so check, and that's a rook. So there we go. So I think white got mated first here. All right, so good game to young QU. You had some attacking chances, but I managed to hold it together. So thanks to everybody. This was a really fun Banter Blitz. I know there were a lot of people that wanted to play, and I didn't get to play with everyone, but I did my best to play with a wide range of students. And thanks so much for being here. I hope I can do it again sometime. And I also appreciate that we got so many Sicilians. That's the way to play chess, although we didn't get enough open Sicilians. All right, so good games to everybody, and thanks. Have a good one.